where China became one of the superpowers. But God spoke to me. He showed me China will partner with Russia.
That was in 2013, what you just watched.
2013. That is like what, 10 years
10
ago?
years earlier, this guy spoke all this stuff into existence. He didn't know this would happen. This is a decade ago, before all this stuff came true. He already prophesied it was going to come true.
Yes. And I can't wait to hear what more he said so that we can actually learn about these prophets, because I'm more interested now. I'm interested to hear everything.
And the Lord spoke to me and he said, things are going to get worse. The economy is going to get worse. The Lord showed me China bankrupting our economy and economics. The Lord showed me China pulling away from America. And it will make our currency go to nothing. I was shocked when I saw it. Never saw something like that. I saw.
So basically, that's exactly what's happening right now to the dollar.
Yes, the dollar has gone down, and you can see that China is trying to tell other countries to rubbish the dollar. And the economy is becoming worse.
Vladimir Putin announced this week that Russia will begin using the Chinese yuan for international payments instead of the dollar. Saudi Arabia is also in talks with Beijing to do the same thing. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, meanwhile, they're in talks with Iran as well to consider an economic alliance with China and Russia. And they can even be joining the BRIC countries, which is an acronym for these countries here: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These countries all have emerging economies. So what happens if our economy and the U.S. dollar are no longer the world's dominant currency?
So let's go back and listen to more of the prophet.
Where China became one of the superpowers. But God spoke to me. He showed me China will partner with Russia. China will partner with Russia. I know what's going to happen. But God spoke to me and he says, the people of God will not be harmed. The people of God will be covered. Because of what I have set for them, no man can take it away. No man can snatch it away. I also saw, we think the attack is going to come from the Middle East. But I saw the attack coming from Russia to America. It was coming out of Russia. I saw the man's name that's behind it. I know his name. I saw it in the spirit. Certain stuff I will not say because I don't want to create anything, but I saw it. And I kept on praying and I kept on praying. I said, God, why are you showing me this? What is it that you're trying to say? What is it that you're trying to show me? Let me say something to you. This attack is going to be more real than what you think. I saw shootings, saw bombings in schools. The next school that they were going to hit was a Christian school. And the Lord spoke to me, and he says, it's important that we, the people of God, pray, and we pray without ceasing. We pray without ceasing. Now, any babies that are crying, just take them out because I'm saying some real sensitive stuff here that I want to make sure that people hear what I'm saying. Now, America is under judgment. If you know your word, you would know that. There's judgment here on this nation because of the things that was done. But there's not judgment on the people of God. You don't belong to this nation, you belong to him. Did you hear what I just said?
Wasn't there a shooting in school, baby?
Oh, yes. We saw a lot of shootings and children were killed, parents were worried. I think that was the most devastating time in the US history.
What you're looking at right now is the moment that a shooter shot through a Christian school entrance in Nashville. And as you can see, there they are entering into the building. Now, who is this person? This person is a trans gender person, and they have come to this Christian school to specifically target children. Now, this is the view of an officer on his body cam as he was called to the event.
China is taking over the world's economy.
Absolutely. They're buying up as much as they can. They're trying to take over in Africa and other countries. They're taking over America. They're buying property in America like it's nothing.
Aligned with the world's fastest emerging superpower, China. The simple answer for why this is because China has pumped huge amounts of money into the continent of Africa. They're buying allies. Important to note that these projects are not, though, free. China isn't just financing these projects out of kindness. For each of them, there's a political goal behind it. By investing in African mining and farming, China can profit off Africa's growth and fuel the business back in China that requires minerals and food. But in addition to serving as a source of natural resources, Africa has another resource: labor. Right now, Africa is establishing itself as the source of labor and resources for China, and so, until the West pays attention, Africa will continue inching forward on its path towards becoming China's China.
China is building itself up as a superpower, and they are replacing our dollar. Once you take the trillions of dollars that are held by central banks in countries like Brazil all over the world, and they liquidate them, the dollar collapses. We become Venezuela with inflation that you cannot imagine. Brazil and China just struck a trade deal, and what it means is when they used to trade, they would have to, when China wanted to buy something from Brazil or Brazil wanted to buy something from China, they both had to change their money into US dollars and then pay each other in dollars, and then they could bring those dollars back to their own home and it would be put in the banks like vaults, like gold. They don't do that anymore. The petrodollar is over.
Exercises of Russia's strategic nuclear forces involved submarines and intercontinental ballistic missiles. According to the Kremlin, all missiles hit their targets. The Russian defense minister explained to Vladimir Putin that the exercises simulated a massive nuclear attack.
Now, you saw what is happening, you saw what the prophet said, and we can see that it is coming true. And the Bible tells us that we should not rubbish prophets, but what we should do is test out, test the spirit.
Test the spirits. If it comes true,
Yes.
then he's a prophet. If it don't, he's a false prophet.
Yes. And how do you know it's a false prophet? It doesn't happen.
Yep.
And another thing is that we can know if it will happen if another person confirms it too. So if somebody else, another prophet, talks about it and confirms that God really showed them that, and then we wait for some time and see if it will happen, and it happens, we know that is a true prophet.
Yes.
So don't rubbish every person who is speaking.
Not every prophet is false.
Yes.
Because when he said this 10 years ago, there was
I
nothing.
can imagine how many people thought.
He was crazy.
Yes.
But now it's like China and Russia's buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why, like, you see, they say one day is 1,000 years to God. So you can imagine he said this, and then people are waiting and waiting, and it never happened. But now it has happened. So sometimes God can prophesy, and it can take even 15 years for that to happen. And sometimes it can just take 2 days. Because God, God is mysterious. That is what I can say. We can never understand all his ways, because his ways are not like ours, and his thoughts are higher than ours. So he might say this. What he wants us to do is trust him.
The thing about God, baby, is God's not in that time box.
Yeah.
God's outside of time.
Good.
He has no clue of time. He lives in eternity. He has no 24-hour clock like we go by. With him, like I said, 1,000 years is like a day to him, and days like 1,000 years.
Yes. So if you've liked our content and if you love what we do, hit the subscribe button, subscribe, and see you next time.
Absolutely. Be part of our family.
Thank you.